just found something super top secret. Super top secret. Nobody has told you about this. They've been keeping it secret for years. But it's being revealed today. Can you be trusted? Let's find out. We have something top secret in math that we're going to be focusing on today. Top secret. We are going to be learning about the decimal place. The decimal place. It's there in every number. 2, 8, everything. 100, a million. There's a decimal place. Nobody's told you about it though. But we will find out about it today. What does it do? Where is it? And is it in every number? To learn about our decimal place, we're first going to look at fractions. We're going to take a look at this problem. And I included a pecan pie because our friend Mikey loves pecan pie, even though they're absolutely disgusting. So, Mikey, Layla, Devin, and Marley want to share a pecan pie. They want each person to have an equal amount of the pie. How can we show how much pie each person will get? So, there's a whole pie, 4 people. Mikey, Layla, Devin, Marley. All want a piece of the pie. All want the same amount. Let's see how we can figure that out. So, the first thing we need to do is we need to see, well, how can we split this up? If I'm looking at how I could split up a pie, I know that I can split it into 4 pieces because there's 4 people. So, I can split there. That creates 2 slices. And then I just go down the middle here. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. But how do I show how much in a different way? Because as mathematicians, we know we need to show things in more than one way. We can't just do a picture. We need a number. We need fractions. We need decimals. Top secret information coming out just for you. So let's take a look. Since this is split into 4, we want to see how much each person gets. So here's our one person. Our one person has this amount of pie. How much of this one piece is the whole? So when I look at this, we know a little bit about fractions, right? I'm looking at this and I see that this piece, need my pen, that this piece represents 1 of 4 parts. We know that because we've been paying attention in our other grades. This is 1 of 4 parts. And we show that as a decimal. When we do that, we think of our quarters, right? 25, 50, 75, $1. That's 4 parts. One of those is 25 cents. So we know 25 cents is 1/4 of $1. So our decimal for 1/4 is 0. Point, or a decimal place, 2, 5. 0.25. And maybe I should tell you a little bit about our place values for that. Maybe we should go into our place values to learn how I really say this. This is like our place value chart we had. But if you notice, it doesn't just end at the ones anymore. We have things to the right of the ones. We have tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and this decimal point. Wait a second. Just me being curious and looking at this, I'm seeing something. I'm seeing this green once, right? But then I'm seeing tens, tenths, hundreds, hundredths, thousands, thousandths. Ooh, I see 10. There seems to be a pattern here. 1 seems to be like our home base. It's where we hang out in the middle. It's the home base with our 1s. As we move out, like to our tens, our tenths, it's 1 place value over from our 1. So for this, we know, like we learned before, that when we go over here, we're multiplying by 10, right? And we see that with our place values. 10 to the first, 10 to the second with x. Miss Smith just made a mistake. It should instead be 10 to the 0, 2, 10 to the first, not 10 to the first, 10 to the second. She made a mistake. Glad that you caught that. Bonus. We're multiplying by 10. And when we go this way, we've learned that we're multiplying by 1/10. 1/10. This is 1/10. This fraction means 1/10. So as we go to the right, we are multiplying by 1/10, which means the tens place has 1/10 of the value as the ones place. And that pattern just continues. As we look at this, from our ones, when we go to our hundreds place, the difference is 2 tenths. So 10 times 10, which is times 100. And if we go from our ones to our hundredths, it's 1/10 times 1/10, which gives us 1/100th, which we see here. And the same pattern continues for our thousandths. So I see this here. I see as I go here. 1,000ths. It's 10 times 10 times 10. So it's times 1,000. And as I go from my ones to my thousandths, I am doing times 1,000th because I'm moving 3 place values to the right, which means 1/10 times 1/10 times 1/10, which equals 1/1000th. So let's go back to our problem. We were looking at 0.25, but that's not how I should say that. I have place value names, so I need to put my digits where they go so I can say this correctly. So I know from this problem that I had less than 1, right? But that doesn't mean I put absolutely nothing there. I put a 0 to hold that place value. So I put a 0 in my ones, my decimal point, and then my tenths is my 2, and my hundredths is my 5. So what I called before as my 0.25 is actually called 25 hundredths. So we call it by the last place value to the right, the smallest place value that the number has. So 25 hundredths. And yeah, every number has these. Even numbers like 8, for example. If we look at 8, 8 has 8 ones, but guess what? It has 0 tenths. 0 hundredths is another way we could write this, or 0 thousandths is another way. So no matter what, this is 8. This is 8, but there are multiple ways we can show it. So let's practice this a little bit more. So as great mathematicians, we look and see how we can write numbers different ways. This is an example. As we look at this, I need to learn how to say this. It's not 0.001, right? We learned that last time. So I have to put it into my place values. So I look before the decimal. 1 space to the left of the decimal is my ones place. So that is 0. Then I go 1 place value to the right of my ones place. That is 0 tenths. Then I go to my hundredths, 1 more place value to the right, which is also 0. And then I look at my thousandths, which is the 1 more place value to the right, which is 1. So I would actually say this number as 1,000th. Oh, I caught myself. I was about to say 0. Nope. No, Miss Smith, that's not right. This is 1,000th. But we need to write this in a different way. So I'm going to show you. How we write this is a fraction. So we look at the smallest place value, which is all the way to the right, which is our thousandths. So I know that when I make my fraction like this, I have a value of 1 in my thousandths place. And I know that because 0, 0, 1 is equal to 1. Like 0 is in front of a number, we can just scratch that. So it's 1. And it is over 1,000 because the smallest place value is the thousandths place. So we would write this as 1 over 1,000. Mind blown. I know. We're going to go through some more of these, so make sure you keep writing in your math notebook so you can be great learners. All right, our next problem, we are looking at 0.512. Oh, Miss Smith, you can't say it like that. We have new values. We have new names. So I can't say 0.512. I need to put this in this chart. So if I'm looking, I check one spot to the left of my decimal place. I check my home base, my ones place. My ones place in this number is 0. I go one space to the right to my tenths place, and it's 5. One more space to the right to my hundredths place is 1. And one more place value to my right is my thousandths place, which is 2. So I need to look at this. I need to see what is the smallest place value that this has. And if I'm looking, I have something in my tenths, I have something in my hundredths, I have something in my thousandths. That's where it stops. So I know my smallest place value is the thousandths. So I'm going to, for my fraction, make 1,000 my denominator, or my number on the bottom. Okay? Now I look. I don't have like I did last time, just 0, 0, 1. I have numbers all the way across. So I need to represent all of these numbers. If I look at this, I see a 5, 1, and a 2. If I smush these together, I have the number 512. So when I write this fraction, I am doing 512 over 1,000. And that shows that it's smaller than 1. So I'm not looking at 512 really. I am taking this all the way to the thousandths place. So that's how we would write that. So we are going to do another problem, but switched. All right, now we have to turn a fraction into a decimal. So we look at it the same way as we did before. We determine the smallest place value for this number by looking at the denominator, or the number at the bottom of the fraction. So I see it is 34 over 100. I know that's less than 1, because 1 would be 100 over 100. So it's less than 1. So that tells me I'm working with decimals. So with this being 100, it tells me I am focusing up to my hundredths place. So I'm going to draw a line. This is where my number ends before this line. I don't have anything in the thousandths for this, okay? I know I end at my hundredths. So if I look, I know that the smallest place value is the 4, right? Because that's how we determine our hundredths. So my 4 goes in my hundredths, which would mean my 3 goes in my tenths. And I can't just leave this blank. There's nothing else in front of the 34. So this is a 0. So now that I have this in here, I can see what this says. So this doesn't say 0.34. This says 34 hundredths. So it says, I'm going to write it. It says 34 hundredths. Hundredths. Oh, spelled that wrong. Oh, I need to put this dash. That is how we write. Listen, everybody. I know you got some top secret information today. You're thrown for a loop. Every number now has a decimal, right? We're learning all new things. But I hope I can trust you with this information. Go into our video check that's in the It's Learning schedule, and then pop onto our Teams call. I'll see you there.